So I just wanted to add a few bits about Hellblazer and about John Constantine. Um, One thing I'm keep talking about since the reboot, the third reboot is coming out, and I always talk about back in the Vertigo days, and comparing these reboots to back the Vertigo. Which, first off, something I never really mentioned is that technically Constantine was originally in the Hellblazers comics was originally DC Comics prior to the Vertigo imprint being created, and was later latched into Vertigo for what that's worth. And then secondly, there are several instances of authors on that Vertigo line, DC line, the original Hellblazer run, that didn't quite hit the mark for me either. And so the Vertigo should be stated that whole Vertigo timeline is not spotless, in my opinion, by any means. And with that, it's something that I feel like the best Constantine stories and the people that got the character the way I liked him written the most is and something that's been missing, I feel like, in the most recent ones, is that he's there's a kind of like in this unspoken little thing that I don't know how you would write it correctly or how you would insert that into a character, but something that, and maybe I'm just projecting onto the character a little bit, but there's like this level of like self-loathing, like unspoken level of self-loathing, and that's kind of, I feel like, where his sort of street level persona is, like in the gutter mage kind of characteristic really lies, and where his sort of debauchery kind of stems from is this like level of self-loathing he has, specifically, probably mostly originating from the events in Newcastle and his relationship with all of his friends who have died and everything, and his continued existence to live, and the use of using his friends and allowing his friends to die, and always making sure that he's the one that's on top. And the thing that I think a lot of the times in these reboots, specifically since he switched over back to the DC side of things, is they have him as this anti-hero scoundrel sort of character, and it's written just as a anti-hero scoundrel, I like to drink and smoke and woo 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 sort of thing, and they kind of miss out on like why he's like that, I think. And it comes from this place of, I guess, accepting that I had to do the bad things that I did, and kind of like an acceptance and being at home with a level of self-loathing that I think gets missed a lot, instead of just someone that only is just drinking and, kind of living this sort of anti-hero lifestyles. I think they miss kind of like the motivation behind it a lot of the time. And that's just kind of 2 cents. An addendum that I didn't get to kind of mention, or forgot to mention when I made the Hellblazer video. Anyway, thanks for listening.